Can I ask a question that might make everybody a little bit uncomfortable? What if social media isn't the disease? What if it's the symptom? Because everywhere I look this week, right now, people are arguing about the social media ban, the age verification, the digital ID, online safety, all of that stuff. But the more I have been sitting with it myself, I think we're missing a much bigger conversation. So in this video, I want to explore with you these three things. Why I don't think all children experience technology in the same way. Why simply delaying access isn't the same as teaching digital skills. And why I think the real issue might not be social media, but actually the fact that we've lost the village that human beings have always had and needed. Honestly, over this last week, the more I've thought about it, the more I feel that we are just answering the wrong flipping question. So let's talk about it. Hi, welcome back to the channel. I'm Liz Mears, neurodivergent parenting coach, AUDHD, OCD, and mum to two fantastic neurodivergent kids. I'm here on the internet creating community that I want to be a part of. I hope you will come and be a part of my community too. Please hit like and subscribe. You know the drill. Everywhere right now on social media, people are arguing the do's and don'ts of the social media ban, how it's going on in Australia, whether we should be having it or not. There are people debating everything. But before everybody starts sharpening their pitchforks towards me, I want to be really, really clear. I absolutely agree that there are problems with the constant overwhelm of being online. I absolutely think social media can be addictive. It's designed that way. I think our children deserve protection. And actually, I think we as adults deserve protection around it. Online safety actually matters. So as far as that goes, none of that is up for debate. But what keeps bothering me is this bit. Every time this week I have raised these concerns about social media bans, age verification for adults, surveillance, digital ID, somebody says, but what about the children? And let's be real, that's exactly who I am thinking about. I am thinking about the children because I don't think all children are the same, just like all humans. Adults are not the same. In fact, every parent watching this knows that that's true. I've got two neurodivergent children who are opposites of each other. Same house, same parents, same rules, same way of living and moving through the world with me, their mum and their dad. Completely different human beings, just so vastly different, it blows my mind. Recently, we've been putting boundaries around technology and they both respond completely differently. They always have. My eldest has always been like, okay, those are the rules, you've put them down. I know you've done it for a reason. I've always been fair about it as well, 5-minute, 10-minute warnings, all that jazz, and has always accepted it. My younger one, not so much. Those have been harder conversations. And let's also be real that neither response is wrong. They're just two different responses because they're different humans. So what immediately makes me nervous whenever I hear governments talking about children as though they are just one giant identical group of lemmings is that some children struggle enormously with social media. Some become anxious, some can't sleep. Some are caught in unhealthy online spaces. Does anybody remember the old pro-Anna websites when the internet first came up? They were pro and they were very devastating. And children are still, unfortunately, able to access these sorts of sites online. And our children deserve better support than that. Our children deserve to be online and thrive online. They deserve to find community, they deserve to find friends, they deserve the space to discover passions and special interests and follow those wholeheartedly and learn some skills that are genuinely going to change the course of their lives. For instance, my Harley, he taught himself huge amounts through technology. I have watched him dive into space, history, civil war, gaming, technology in ways that simply wouldn't have been possible when I was growing up. An encyclopedia wouldn't have cut it. It would have been good, but technology has added that extra layer. So when people say that social media is either good or bad, I think they're completely missing the point. The experience depends on the child, the family, the support around them, the support systems, what they're actually doing online, what they're actually using it for, how we as parents are talking to them. And another thing that keeps crossing my mind is we keep talking about this as though there are only two options. Either children get unrestricted access to smartphones and social media and the internet, or we ban everything. So where's the middle ground? I actually find the rise of things like brick phones and flip phones really interesting because they have been making a comeback. And I personally have been looking into them myself. And it's not because I think every child should have one, and I don't think they're the answer to all of the problems, but I think they remind us that our phones were originally communication tools. You know, you could phone somebody, you could text somebody, you could arrange to meet up with your mates, you could contact your parents in an emergency. But at some point, we bundled communication, social media, and the internet, gaming, shopping, entertainment, and algorithms all into this one little device. And it started treating them as though they're the same thing when they're not. Communication is not the same as social media, and social media isn't the same as the internet at large. The internet isn't the same as online safety. They're completely different, nuanced conversations. I can absolutely see why some families would love a basic phone for their children. And I can also see why other families, especially some neurodivergent families, children that are disabled or, for instance, diabetic, would find that completely inappropriate. Because again, children are not all the same. We are not moving through this world in the same way. None of us are. One autistic young person might use the internet almost entirely for special interests, learning and community, whereas another might struggle enormously with boundaries and regulation. Both things can be true. Then there's another thing I can't stop thinking about. I'm 45. I didn't grow up on Facebook. I didn't get social media when I was 12. I was a grown adult. I was actually nearly 27, and still it got its hooks into me. Nobody taught me about algorithms. Nobody taught me about persuasive design. Nobody taught me how the companies make money from our attention. So when people tell me that the answer is simply keeping young people away from it until they're 16, I find myself asking, then what? What happens when they turn 16? What skills have we taught them? Because what is happening in the English curriculum at the moment is clearly nowhere near enough. What understanding have we given them? Because it's lovely to have hope that a ban would fix everything, but hope isn't evidence. And then I find myself coming back to something even bigger. Why are so many people looking for connection online in the first place? Because for a lot of people, social media isn't just entertainment, it's where they found their village. It's where I found mine. Parents are out there finding other parents. Neurodivergent people are finding other neurodivergent people. Disabled people are finding other disabled people. Gay people are finding other gay people. Carers are finding support that they need at 2 o'clock in the morning because other carers are up. People are out there discovering that they're not the only one. And that doesn't tell me social media is wonderful. It actually tells me something else. It tells me that we're lonely. We have never had more information. We've never had more experts. We've never had more courses and podcasts and videos and advice and content. And yet people are still sitting at their kitchen tables feeling completely alone. Parents are exhausted. People are exhausted. Community spaces have upped and disappeared. There just isn't the things around that there were when we were younger or when our parents were younger. Families are isolated. And then we seem surprised when people go online looking for that connection. Because of course they do. Human beings need each other. We are wired for it. So maybe the question isn't simply how do we get people off of social media? Maybe the question is, what are we building in its place? Because if Facebook disappeared tomorrow, loneliness wouldn't disappear. The need for belonging isn't going to disappear, and the need for community isn't going to disappear. Those needs are still going to be there. And honestly, I think we are looking at the same thing. We are all looking for people, for understanding, for connection, for somewhere we can say, this is hard. And somebody replies, yes. Oh my God, I know too. I have been there. So maybe what we're really missing isn't social media. We're missing the village. And maybe it's time we started rebuilding it. So where does that leave me? Honestly, with 3 lessons. The first is that children are not all the same. Nuh-uh, no way, never going to happen. My 2 kids remind me of that every single day. What helps one child is going to be completely wrong for another. And that goes for every kid, in this world. One size fits all solutions always make me nervous. And that goes on to the second, which is delaying access isn't the same as teaching skills. Telling them they can't have it until they're 16 and then letting them go for it is not how to teach young people how to navigate the online world safely. We need to teach them how it works. And if necessary, we need to teach the parents how to do that too, because not everybody has the privilege of understanding these things. We need to understand algorithms, persuasive design, critical thinking, digital literacy. All those things are so, so very needed. And hope is needed, but hope is not a strategy. And third one is probably the biggest one for me. I don't think it's that we're just dealing with a social media problem. I think that we are dealing with a connection problem. Because if social media disappeared tomorrow, people are still going to be lonely. They still need belonging, they still need community, and they still need each other. So maybe that's the question at the root of this social media ban that is coming in, and the one that we should be asking more often, not what we're taking away, but what we are building in its place. And I think we are all part of the answer to that problem. I believe we all have the ability within ourselves to start forming that village again. So let me know what your thoughts are down in the comments. I'd be really interested to hear. I genuinely don't think it's as easy as ban it and move on. It is far more nuanced, and what the government has suggested scares me, quite frankly, because they are not leaving room for humanity, for human feelings, emotions, needs. You know, the Maslow's hierarchy of needs. One of those things is connection and community. Thank you so much for being here. I do hope you have a fantastic weekend. Please do hit subscribe. Please hit the like button as well. All that jazz. Thank you so much for being here. Much love to you all. Stay sane out there. Bye.